What's up, everyone? It is your host, Ghost, coming to you live with another wonderful video. How's everyone doing today? I'm doing well myself. We got a few things we're going to talk about today. Every single time, I swear to God, I keep forgetting to put this goddamn banner up. Owen Shroyer has gotten an early release. Governor Abbot signs new law. Hunter Biden pays Joe Biden through an account that's received payments from China. Apparently, there's no self-defense allowed in LA. And let's see, what else do I got here? Oh, and then there was a house explosion in Arlington, Virginia. After police reportedly showed up with a search warrant. A Christian couple, Christian parents are upset after their 11-year-old daughter was forced to share a bed with a biological male. UFC fighter Conor McGregor is apparently indicating he'll run for president of Ireland. And then finally, we'll talk about, or we'll watch a clip of a State Department spokesman, talking about why Hamas won't release women and the reason behind the falling apart of the release of hostages. So we'll look into that. But yeah, so as a plan, let me double check, make sure my audio is good. Cool. All good. All right. So that's what we'll talk about today. Oh, shoot. Hold on. There we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Oh, So we'll get into Owen Shroyer's a little bit of his history prior to being getting hit this early release of his. Sorry, just getting things set up because I haven't yet. Because I'm dumb. Okay. All right. So yeah. So Owen Shroyer, who's an InfoWars journalist, I guess. He's gotten an early release set for December 8th. So in a couple days. It hasn't even been in that long. He reported to prison on. Okay, sorry. Let's get into the history. All right. So Washington. So let's see. So this is back in September. A host of the far-right media outlet InfoWars was sentenced Tuesday to 60 days in prison for his role in the January 6th attack. Remember, this is NBC News, so this is going to be a very biased commentary on the U.S. Capitol. Owen Shroyer is one of only a handful of January 6th, because it's biased because they call it an attack. This wasn't an attack; was a protest at best. Well, at most, really, and pretty much at least. So Owen Shroyer is one of only a handful of January 6 participants charged with a crime despite having neither entered the Capitol buildings nor been accused of committing violence or destruction on Capitol grounds. Prosecutors charged Shroyer because he had previously signed a deferred prosecution agreement after he interrupted a Congress hearing in 2019 and had agreed as part of the case not to utter loud, threatening, or abusive language or to engage in any disorderly or disruptive conduct at any place upon United States Capitol grounds. About 1,100 defendants have been charged in connection with the Capitol attack protest in 2021. More than 600 have been sentenced, more than 370 of them to periods of incarcerations. Democrats are posing as communists, but we know that what they really are. They're just tyrants. Tyrants, Shroyer said on a bullhorn as he led a crowd to the Capitol on January 6th. And so today on Jan 6th, we declared death to tyranny, death to tyrants. Well, that was probably unintelligent. The government sought 120 days of incarceration, saying that while Shroyer did not step foot inside the Capitol, many of those who listened to him did. So, let's see. Shroyer's defense team said that the case had been characterized by by a cooperative spirit between the defense and the government, and asked he be spared prison time. When he was at the Capitol on January 6th, Shroyer wore two hats. One was that of an outraged citizen who believed that an election had been rigged. The other as full-time journalist and commentator who sought a front row seat at a historical event, his defense team wrote. At Tuesday's sentencing hearing, Shroyer told the court, "I was not part of any large plan of illegal activities or violence that day." Shroyer was sentenced by U.S. District Judge Timothy Kelly, who last week sent Proud Boys founder Eric Tarrio to federal prison for the longest term yet for a January 6th defendant, 22 years. Apparently, whoever wrote this article fucked up because it wasn't. It was in 2019 that he interrupted congressional. It was in 2019 he interrupted a congressional hearing, not 2020. So there you go. So the reason he was jailed was because he was near the Capitol and talked loudly. Basically, that's the basics of it, really. So, all right. So here's the update. Jailed journalist jailed journalist Owen Shroyer is released to be sentenced. Is to be released from prison on December 8th. He was sentenced to serve 60 days for charges stemming from his presence and remarks outside the Capitol building on January 6, 2021. He reported to prison on October 24th. He spent the majority of his time in solitary confinement. So let's see. So 24th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He spent he's spending 6 weeks roughly in jail. Like 6 weeks. Oh man. So let's see. 6 weeks. So 42 days. So he spent 42 days. So, you know. So he had 18 days left, and so he got an early release, which is good. He really didn't spend that long in jail. With Shroyer's release set on for December 8th, he will have been in prison for 45 days. Over 30 of those days were spent in solitary confinement. Shroyer was first placed in solitary confinement upon his arrival at FCI prison for 5 days as part of the facility's COVID protocols. Just days later, Shroyer was once again thrown in solitary confinement after he placed a call on with a friend to post on his X account, thanking his supporters for sending him letters. This stint reported lasted around 30 days. So his supporters sent him mail. He wanted his friend to post on his X account, "Thank you for sending me letters." And he got sent to solitary confinement for that? Doesn't that sound like a little weird, a little excessive to anyone else? Sure as hell sounds like it to me. Shroyer was sentenced to 60 days in prison. In response to being on Capitol grounds on January 6, 2021, he did not enter the building, but prosecutors said he violated a previous deferred prosecution agreement that forbade the journalists from using their loud, threatening, or abusive language, or to engage in any disorderly conduct or disruptive conduct at any place upon the United States Capitol grounds. Court documents say that Shroyer had allegedly completed 30 of the 32 hours of community service required by the Deferred Prosecution Agreement, which was reached in January of 2020 after he shouted in a loud manner in a December 2019 House Judiciary Committee hearing. So there we go. So yeah, he's shared 6 weeks. He's been in jail for 6 weeks. Most of it was been spent in solitary confinement for apparently because, God forbid you reach out to your supporters and say, hey, thanks for the letters. I really appreciate it. That makes complete sense, right? What fucking tyranny is that? You can't thank your supporters. How dare you thank your supporters? We're going to make sure that you go into solitary confinement for having a friend post on your X account. Thank you to your supporters. How dare you? That's just so goddamn ridiculous. The whole January 6th prosecution was pretty dumb, in all honesty. A lot of these were misdemeanors, and people are getting sentenced, charged, jailed. And I'm being like loose on the term misdemeanor, honestly. But it's all really just really sad and ridiculous. But it kind of shows you like how fragile people in power's ego are. And we've seen a lot of footage. I've covered it a lot on my show of people who were defending a lot of this, cops and stuff and trying to prevent everything. I bet those guys got arrested too, just like some people in the Derek Chauvin, the George Floyd incident, got arrested. Like one guy, I can't remember who it was, but he was the guy who's like, look, maybe we should roll him on his back. Hey, maybe we should do this. He was actually trying to help George Floyd. He got sentenced to jail. There was another guy, it might have been the same guy, whose all his job was perimeter security. So he just stood and watched the crowd, make sure no one tried to enter. Like that's all that guy's job was, and he got fucking jailed. Like it's really ridiculous. But all right, let's move on. I got things to do today, so yeah. I gotta go get a flat tire fixed. That giant nail in it. On Sunday, Texas Governor George Abbott announced he would sign a bill into law that would make it a crime for illegal immigrants to be in the state of Texas. So I guess you would call that let's see, the opposite of a sanctuary city. He said the bill would grant police officers in every agency the authority to arrest migrants entering the country illegally. Because George Abbott is a vivid racist, clearly. Move comes as the U.S. southern border struggles to contain the historical massive influx of illegal immigrants at the hands of President Biden's open border policy. Governor Abbott, Republican, made the announcement while speaking to Fox News host Maria Batamero on Sunday's Morning Futures in a segment about the border crisis. Texas is having to step up and do even more to make sure that we deny illegal entry into the state of Texas, as Abbott said. As a result, in 2 weeks, I'll be signing a new law in the state of Texas that will make it illegal for people to enter the state of Texas from another country illegally and authorize every peace officer in the state of Texas to arrest those people entering our country. The pending legislation, Senate Bill 4, was approved by Texas lawmakers last month per the Texas Tribune. Over the past few years, the Republican governor has had to develop creative plans to thwart the invasion at the U.S. southern border, which began when Biden took over the White House in 2021. Abbott told Bart Tamero that because of his actions, his administration has taken to help secure the border, Texas is no longer the number one entry point for illegal immigrants. Examples he gave were the installment of razor wire and the state building its own border wall. Governor Abbott has also created Operation Lone Star in 2021, which allows state agencies such as the Texas National Guard and Texas State Troopers to aid in securing the U.S.-Mexico border. With the announcement of Abbott's new law, all police officers in the state of Texas will now be allowed to aid in efforts. Current laws only allow government agencies to take actions at the border. Because of his efforts, Abbott told the Fox News host that other southern border states, such as Arizona and California, have seen an influx in illegal entries as cartels have had to alter their routes. The Tuscany, Arizona border sector has been inundated with a massive surge of illegal immigrants, over the past couple of weeks. On Friday, U.S. Border Patrol and Customs announced that they would be temporarily shutting down the port of entry in Lukeville to help thwart the surge, according to Washington Times. The recent surge comes after data released by Border Patrol last month, revealing historical numbers of illegal crossing under the Biden administration at the hands of the president's open border policy. U.S.-Mexico border has seen more than 2 million illegal crossings within the past year, which with more than 6 million encounters since Joe Biden became president in 2021. Apprehension of people who are on the terrorist watch list are nearly doubled last year's record total. According to CBP data, 172 non-citizens who were on the terrorist watch list were apprehended at the border, which was an increase from 2022's record year of 98. Before 21, the highest number was 6 in 2018. Wow. That is a giant number. Jump. So the highest was 6 in 2018. That was the highest. And then in 2022, 98. And then, now it's 172. Like, wow. Let's see. And it has skyrocketed since the Biden administration took over. Total encounters for enforcement officials was 434,562 higher than in 2022, at a total of 3,201,144 for FY 23. Since the total encounters have continued to increase, with 646,822 total encounters in 2020, 1,956,519 a year later, and 2,766,582 2 years later. Former President Donald Trump, who is in the 2024 GOP presidential frontrunner, recently warned about a massive caravan of illegal immigrants headed to the United States. In November, Trump spoke alongside Abbott, who endorsed him, and the former president vowed to make the border security a top priority if he were to take back the White House in 25. So there you go. So some good things coming out of Texas. This is good considering how just recently we just watched a video of a Texas prosecutor teaching like divorce attorneys or whatever how to request a protective order to help negotiate their divorce settlements for their clients. And so just So, I mean, there's always good things going on in Texas, there's bad things going on in Texas. All right, so moving on. Like I said, I'm probably going to try and move through these. I have things I need to do later. I might not even get done with everything today. Hunter Biden said paid Joe Biden from account for biz that received payments from China, Comer. Payments were set up to occur monthly. Hunter Biden set up monthly payments to Joe Biden from an account for a business of his that received payments from China, according to the House Oversight Committee's Chairman Comer. Comer on Monday released subpoena bank records that showed Hunter Biden's business entity, Oswasco PC, made direct monthly payments to Joe Biden. The payments, according to the bank document, were set up to occur monthly and totaled $1380. This wasn't a payment from Hunter Biden's personal account, but an account for his corporation that received payments from China and other shady corners of the world, Comer sent in a video message Monday. Comer in September had subpoenaed personal and business bank records that belonged to Hunter Biden and James Biden as part of a panel's investigation into the Biden's family foreign business deals and whether President Biden benefited from those ventures. A source familiar with the investigation told Fox News Digital that at Oswasco PC sent payments at least three times to Joe Biden's personal account. The payments occurred September 17th, 2018, October 15th, 2018, November 15th, 2018. At this moment, Hunter Biden is under an investigation by the Department of Justice for using Oswasco PC for tax evasion and other serious crime, Comer said. So here's all the evidence. It's all redacted. Fox News Digital last week. Reported last week that a bank investigator raised concerns about Hunter Biden's receipts of a $5 million wire from a Chinese company in August 2018 to his bank account, Hudson West III. Excuse me. Hunter Biden then transferred $400,000 to his Oswasco PC account. Funds were then transferred to a business account belonging to James Biden, later transferred to a personal account belonging to James Biden and Sarah Biden. Comer claims they used those funds to then cut a check to Joe Biden for $40,000. That check was labeled as a loan repayment. Based on whistleblower testimony, we know the Justice Department made a concealed effort to prevent investigators from asking questions about Joe Biden. I wonder why, Comer said Monday, referring to allegations that Assistant U.S. Attorney Leslie Wolf worked to limit questions about the big guy. Source says the big guy is Joe Biden. Payments from Hunter Biden's business entities, Joe Biden, are now part of a pattern revealing Joe Biden knew about, participated in, and benefited from his family's influence peddling. When Joe Biden was vice president, he spoke by phone, attended dinners, and had coffee with his son's foreign business associates. He allowed his son to catch a ride on Air Force Two at least a dozen times to sell the Biden brand around the world, Comer said. Hunter Biden requested office keys to be made for his office mate Joe Biden, and space he planned to share with a Chinese energy company. We've revealed how Joe Biden received checks from his family that were funded by the Biden's influence peddling schemes, with China no less, Comer said. Comer added that the House Oversight Committee continues to invest Joe Biden's involvement in the family's domestic and international business schemes at a rapid pace. Comer vowed to continue to uncover the facts and provide transparency about the findings of our investigation. President Biden and his family must be held accountable for this blatant corruption, Comer said. The American people expect no less. Comer is jointly leading the impeachment inquiry against President Biden along House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Jason Smith. So there you go. Well, that's kind of wild. We now have, it seems, proof that Joe Biden knew received payments, at least from a business account, that was owned by Hunter Biden, that received payments from China. Now, there were only three. And I don't know, maybe he was living with his parents at the time. He was sending him rent paycheck. So that it may not end up not being anything. It would have to I think they would have to prove that Biden knew the money came from China for anything, but I don't know. But that's just wild. That's very wild to hear that. We definitely have We definitely have. Sorry, fucking tired as well. We have some evidence that Biden's has received payments from Joe Biden. So you know what? Good on Kenny. Well, Comer, really. Again, I don't see this going anywhere. None of this ever does. No one in politics is ever really held accountable for things they actually did, not fake shit like they're doing to Donald Trump. All right. So, well, that's very interesting. We'll see what happens. Probably nothing. All right. I don't know if this has any audio, so we'll see. Every single time. All right. So,
surveillance video shows a surveillance video.
Sorry. Armed homeowners in Los Angeles are finally fighting back. This week, a homeowner in LA fired his gun at 4 armed thugs who tried to break into his family while his family was home. He killed one. Police later put the homeowner in handcuffs. Last week, a homeowner in LA grabbed his gun from the closet and chased 3 armed robbers in the middle of the night. Last month, a homeowner in LA yanked his gun and fired at 2 armed suspects after the incident. His concealed carry license was suspended.
Surveillance video shows a masked surveillance video.
All right, so here's surveillance video. I think it's gonna be the first one that they talked about, where the guy killed one and they got arrested. So let's watch it.
Shows a masked intruder with a gun run up to this mid-city man about to walk in his front door. The homeowner pulls out his gun to defend himself, firing shots at the 2 intruders, quickly entering a shootout.
I guess they decided to try to come at me and come in the house, but I have a 5-month-old baby and a wife, nanny in the house, and that wasn't going to happen. There was nothing in my house that was worth dying for, but I was willing to die for my family.
The shootout happened Saturday night around 7:30. The homeowner walks to the front door, grabbing for his keys. 2 intruders jump the front gate. 1 intruder runs up to the front door. The mid-city man throws his tea, pulls out his gun, and starts shooting.
And I don't know where I felt someone run up behind me, put something to my back, and then put a pistol to my back, and somebody else running up.
When shots are fired, the intruders disperse. 1 fires back, scrambling to hop over the side fence. The other hops over the front gate and runs away. Surveillance video shows a masked.
So there's that one. Let's watch.
Several hooded intruders jumping his fence just after 8 p.m., then trying to break into his house.
I went to my closet where my safe is, opened up the safe, grabbed my gun.
Lozano chased the suspects out of his yard with his gun in hand before they sped off in a white 4-door SUV. KTLA is aware of at least a half dozen similar incidents in the area in the last month alone. Victims say thieves are often in high-end cars in groups of 3 to 4, often using cell phones or walkie-talkies to communicate. Several hooded.
It's that. And then here's one of them being arrested. So yeah, in LA, you're not allowed to defend yourself. All right. That's basically what we should be getting here. In LA, can't defend yourself with a gun. How dare you? How dare you defend yourself and your family with lethal means when someone comes up and attempts to rob you with a gun in your back while your wife, your baby, and your nanny are all at home and trying to break into your house? How dare you? Fuck LA. Fuck LA, fuck California. How dare these government, these fucking tyrants go around and arrest law-abiding citizens for defending themselves and their property. Fuck California. If you're in California, you should be moving the fuck out. There's no point in living in California. It's expensive to live there. You got a bunch of homeless fuckers. You can't really go out and enjoy your day. Move somewhere else. If you like it all sunny and beautiful, go to Florida. Live in Florida. Fuck it. But California, it's a cesspool. Okay, it's Mos Eisley from Tatooine. Okay, just get out of California. It's fucking ridiculous. I can't believe like these people, these men who go and defend their families and because they're put in danger, are arrested by the people that are supposed to be protecting them, and it's just ridiculous. This is just ridiculous at this point. We covered one, and it mentioned it in this that article I was talking about last month or something. Yeah, I covered that one. God, what happened? He was like attempt to be robbed. There's guns, and he goes and fires, and then he mouthed off to the cops because they're fucking up somehow. And he got his concealed carry license revoked because he mouthed off to the cops. They didn't like his attitude. Fuck this guy, this shit. This is just ridiculous. It's time to leave California, folks. It's time to just it's not worth it anymore. All right, moving on. There's an explosion at Arlington last night. Yeah, so here we go. Let's watch this quick. God damn.
Oh,
Dude, that was fucking crazy, right? Oh shit, that got some fucking air. So this is supposedly, yeah. So this is about the incident. A house in Arlington, Virginia, exploded Monday night, shortly after officers were executing a search warrant at the residence for reports of a person discharging several rounds with a flare gun. Officials said during a press conference. Police responded to a residence on the 800 block of North Burlington Street at approximately 4:45 Monday afternoon, 4:45 p.m. Monday afternoon, with reports of possible shots fired, said Ashley Savage, public information officer with Arlington County Police. The suspects inside the residence discharged several rounds. The house subsequently exploded, Savage said. Police officers sustained minor injuries and were treated on the scene. Before the explosion, Savage said that a barricaded situation took place after attempts to make contact with the suspect were unsuccessful. During the early parts of it, after we had obtained search warrants, we attempted to make contact with the individual. Our SWAT team was on scene at that point. We were determined that the incident would be a barricade because the suspect had not exited the residence. She said, we attempted to make contact with the individual when shots were discharged inside the residence. Police said in a statement that a preliminary investigation indicated that the suspect discharged a flare gun approximately 30 to 40 times from inside his residence into the surrounding neighborhood. What the fuck? Then, as officers investigated, they obtained a search warrant for the suspect's residence and unsuccessful attempt to make contact with the suspect. As officers were attempted to execute the search warrant, the suspect discharged several rounds from what is believed to be a firearm inside the home. Subsequently, at approximately 8:25 p.m., an explosion occurred at the residence. The investigation into the circumstances of the explosion are ongoing, the statement said. So that's a picture of the explosion. As of approximately 10:30 p.m. Monday evening, the fire was under control. The Arlington County Fire Department continued to battle small spots fires. The investigation remains ongoing. Neighbors several blocks away described feeling the concussion from the blast in their homes. Witness described seeing flares in the sky emanating from the area of the blast prior to the explosion, or the blast. Sorry. Officials were aware of only one individual, the suspect, who was inside residence at the time of the explosion. No details on their identity has been released. The suspect was still in the house and had not yet been taken into custody because the ACPD had not been able to enter the residence as the fire was still ongoing, Savage said. So there we go. That's wild. Odds are it was probably like a meth house or something, and that was the explosion. That's the odds of it. I can't see any reason why a house would just explode otherwise. So yeah, the guy in there, he probably he has meth or something like that. Those are very common, like not in Virginia, but common, like to have explosions, accidental explosions. That's my guess, anyways. So he probably he was probably on meth, fired a bunch of flares for whatever fucking reason, because he was high, and then he got and police came, and he's like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna go to jail. I got all this fucking meth products, so I'm gonna just shoot at him." And then an explosion happened. The guy blew up. Let's see. Christian. Okay, so moving on. Christian parent complained after 11-year-old daughter forced to share bed with biological male on school trip. An attorney at a Christian legal group said schools should never hide information from the parents. Yet, that's exactly what JCPS officials did here. Oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me! I gotta read this for free, or I gotta like put it in my goddamn. Let's try that. Refresh it sometimes. Sometimes you refresh it. Oh. No. Okay. Well, I'm not gonna put in my goddamn. Oh no, it's not even done yet. Oh. Dear Lord, what the fuck? Okay, let's try this again. Christian parents in Colorado have complained to their to their 11-year-old daughter's school district after she was allegedly forced to share a bed with a biological male on an overnight trip, according to a letter on Monday. The Christian legal group Alliance Defending Freedom sent a demand letter to Jefferson County Public Schools on behalf of the Colorado parents, alleging that its policy of hiding information from parents and lying to students is unconstitutional. Fox News Digital contacted Jefferson County Public Schools for comment, but did not immediately receive a response. The parents, Joe and Serena Wales, said that they discovered that JCPS assigned their daughter to share a room with biological male who identifies as a girl without notifying them or informing their daughter. Oh, okay. I see how it is. So it just gets worse, is all it is. The incident allegedly occurred over summer when the district organized a cross-country overnight trip to Philadelphia and Washington, D.C. Laura found out the student she was sharing a bed with was transgender, but only because the student told her on the first night of the trip, the ADF said. She was uncomfortable about the prospects of sharing a bed with a male student, the ADF said. Serena Wales happened to have been on the trip, and the daughter shared the concerns with her mom. The school chaperone asked the Wales daughter if they could merely move her to a different bed rather than a different room. While she was still uncomfortable with this arrangement, she agreed to try it for one night. It then took the girl and her parents multiple requests to get her moved to another room, and even then, chaperones told the girl to lie about the reasons for her move because of the district's overnight rooming policy, a policy that violates parental rights and students' privacy by rooming students based on gender identity while hiding the information from other parents and students. IDF letter says. The other girls in the room were not informed about the biological male in the room, according to the ADF. JCPS officials then decided to lie to her roommate and instructed the Walesy's daughter to do the same, telling her to say she needed to switch beds to be closer to the air conditioner. The ADF alleges. Eventually, the school chaperone decided to move the biological male to another girl's room, according to ADF. Fox News Digital previously reported that JCPS equity policies had a methodical system in place to keep parents in the dark on their gender or children's gender transitions in school. The student's gender would be used to determine where they would be placed in overnight trips. Under no circumstance shall a student who is transgender be required to share a room with students whose gender identity conflicts with their own, the policy said. Parents, not the government, have the right to direct the upbringing and education of their children. And that includes making informed decisions to protect their child's privacy. ADF Senior Counsel Kate Anderson said, schools should never hide information from parents, yet that's exactly what JCPS officials did here. Every parent should have the information needed to make the best decision for their children. There we go. Took me forever to find the article, but I found the article. Yeah, this is fucking wild. Like, I keep going back to this. If all this shit was so good, so wonderful, and so good, then why do you need to hide it from people? Okay? And that's the problem with this stuff is they're always hiding it from people. They're not like, trying to talk to people, let them know, hey, this is what's up, blah, 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 or anything like that. They always want to try and hide it from you. And if you're trying to hide it, that means it's bad. Okay? In my opinion. This is an 11-year-old girl. And you're making her share a bed with a biological male. A dude. No, I'm not even going to do the biological male. A dude. You shared it with a dude. I don't care how the fucking kid identifies and shit. All right? It goes out the window when you start having to force these kids to share beds and shit. It's just goddamn ridiculous. This is why you need to take your kids out of public schools. All right? Private schools or homeschool or whatever. Because public schools care more about looking woke than educating your kid. And that's what's being proven here. These good Christian parents need to just take their kid out and put them in like a private Christian school or some shit like that. I'm sure they will when they win the lawsuit. Or no, they should be suing these fucking officials. God. It's just so fucking stupid. Like, oh, look, this is a really good thing. We need, it's really good that we allow students to identify what they want to do. It's really good. It's really good. But we got to hide it from the parents. That's why you need to keep your kids out of public school, people. All right, we're going to move on real quick. It just makes me pissed off. It's all. Like, I have an 11-year-old daughter, and I swear to God, if she's not going to public school, but if I found out that my 11-year-old daughter is sharing some bed with a dude, I don't care how he identifies, I'm getting fucking livid. All right. You don't get to force my kid to do this stuff. You don't get to not only do it, but try to hide it from me too. All right. Let's see what this guy says.
All the atrocities that Hamas carried out on October 7th and the atrocities that they have carried out since, the fact that they continue to hold women hostages, the fact that they continue to hold children hostages, the fact that it seems one of the reasons they don't want to turn women over that they've been holding hostage, and the reason this pause fell apart, is they don't want those women to be able to talk about what happened to them during their time in custody. Certainly, all the atrocities that Hamas carried out on.
Okay. That's probably very well. I guess Hamas is, I don't know anything about this, but I guess Hamas is, has paused the hostage exchange that was agreed upon under a ceasefire. I guess they've done that. They're not allowing people to, I don't know, I guess. Okay. Like I said, I haven't really been following this that closely, so I'm not aware of it as well as I should be. I do remember seeing that they did shut down the negotiation or the hostage exchange. So what can you do? I don't pay attention that much. It's been all like it's been everywhere for so long. It's kind of so, but that's just terrible. But yeah, there's probably a valid critique. If they're not releasing women, it's probably because they're like, yeah, we don't want you to tell them how bad we've treated you. I don't see any other reason why you wouldn't release the women. I don't know if Israel violated any of the agreements, so that could be another possibility why as well. I'm not going to bring up this article because it's not really an article. It's just like whatever. So apparently, Conor McGregor is showing serious indications he will run for president of Ireland. It would not be me power. It would not be me in power as president, people of Ireland. It would be me and you. I have no affiliations, bias, favoritism towards any party. They would generally be held accountable regarding the current sway of public feeling. I'd even put it all to vote. There'd be votes every week to make sure I can fund. So yeah. So apparently Conor McGregor is thinking he might run. He wants to run. There we go. So that's all I got today. I know it was a short day, but like I said, I got things to do. I got like a flat tire. I got to go get fixed. Found the nail today. So that's why I'm kind of rushing it. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow me on X at @officialwghost. Best way to find out when I go live and see my tweets and everything. Follow my Rumble channel, rumble.com/withghost, as well as Gaming with Ghost. Then my Twitch channel, Official with Ghost. So twitch.tv/official with Ghost. Then my YouTube channel with Ghost. So wherever you are, just make sure you come to Rumble and give me a like and a follow. Hope you all have a good day. Peace out. See you later.